Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess. We do these live streams every single weekday. It is just me presenting today, and then we will have Spud back on the show on Wednesday's live stream, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And then he will be presenting solo for a short while, so make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, show some support for the channel for both me and Spud over the next couple of weeks. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here. It is currently down 1.5% in the last 24 hours to $37,018. We've got Ethereum down just over 3% within the last 24 hours to $2,021. We will be analyzing the price of both Bitcoin and Ethereum towards the end of today's stream, so make sure to stay tuned. Bit disappointing there. Ethereum has really been outperformed by Bitcoin within the last 24 hours. We will analyze that chart as well and see what's really going on there, because that chart really gives us an indication as to whether we should be looking at the altcoins or not. So we will take a look at that today. One really interesting thing that's happening this morning is Terra Luna is up 42% in the last 24 hours. Now, if we take a look at UST, it's at like 6 cents right now. This is Terra Classics. This is the actual Luna token. Luna is the token that was the Luna Classic is the original token for the Terra ecosystem. And then we've got UST as well. Now, this was the stable coin that depegged back in May 2022. May 2021? No, 2022, I think it was. So you can see this is the token here. It is up to 6 cents. Now, this crashed. It was pegged to the dollar. We were all having a happy time, making 20% returns on our stable coins. And then it absolutely crashed. This was not a stable coin that was backed by real reserves in a bank. It was algorithmically backed. That backing did not hold. It depegged. We've seen in the chat here, the humbled one is saying USTC to repeg to $1. Now, imagine that. I am very upset this morning, very disappointed, because I was a UST holder and I fell victim to this crash. And when this crash happened, I moved my tokens into a different wallet on the Terra blockchain, and I've lost my seed phrase. Now, that is a rookie mistake to make. That is a mistake that I believe, though, everybody has made in the cryptocurrency markets. I'm going to add it to my badge of honors, my list of mistakes I've made that give me the authority to give these kind of point of views, or maybe these kind of what's the right word for it? I learn from my lessons instead of your own, and that's another lesson that I can guide you on here now. Do not lose your seed phrase. Write it down. It is so important. When UST depegged, we went down to 0, and I moved my tokens from my Swissbook account because they were delisting them and removing them from the exchange to another platform. I don't know where. I don't know what that seed phrase was. I don't know what my private key was. It's all gone now. So if this repegs to $1, I will be very, very angry. But that's what's happened there. In fact, we need to be showing the screen. Thank you, Jason Smith, for reminding me. This is UST. It is trading at 6 cents right now. It used to be at $1. If this repegs, it will be insane. Now, the rumor is that they are Anchor are actually looking at reserve of putting some Bitcoin reserves in place to repeg this to the dollar. Now, that is completely a rumor right now. We don't know how true this is. It has had many pumps like this before, but it was expected to just be a dead token right now. And that's not really what's happened there. So we are seeing a move to the upside. It did reach 7.5 cents earlier today. So we'll keep a close eye on that and see what's going on here. It's very, very speculative point, but it's pretty exciting to see things like this moving again. It shows the excitement's back in the space. So let's see what's going on. Buy Luna Classic, says the humbled one, as it will hit minimum $1 too. Nothing here is financial advice. It is up 42% today. I like to buy out of this category, not out of this category, but you never know. Some things go crazy in the cryptocurrency markets. Let's take a look at what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here quickly. In terms of biggest losers, we're looking at FTX, Binary X, Engine, Miner. We're seeing these in the top biggest gainers and Lunas quite often right now. But let's take a look here. Bitcoin, interesting. This chart looks messy, but I promise it's not when I explain it. First of all, you can see that when we had the previous move to the downside, sharp move to the downside here, on Wednesday last week, we used this previous level of resistance that was used on the 2nd of November, the 7th of November, and back here on the 16th of November as a level of support. So I'm keeping that there to keep a close eye on it. Hopefully we don't need to use that as a level of support, but it is possible, and that's at $35,540. Now, in terms of some other levels that I want to be watching out for, we can get rid of all these. We're looking at this channel here. We've been in this channel since back on the 23rd of October. We've got a level of support here at $36,665. And we have this level of resistance that's running all the way to the upside there. And that is currently at $38,330, which coincides with that attempt to break through $38,000 that was not successful towards the end of last week. Now, the reason I think that wasn't successful is because we are facing a major level of resistance there. If we go to the weekly chart, you can see these blue lines here was the zone that we used as a level of resistance and support in the previous bull and bear market. Now, if we look at what's going on here right now, we've seen the weekly candle, the weekly chart, to me, being perfectly honest, doesn't look brilliant. Now, it is Monday, so that red candle is pretty, we can ignore this week's chart for now. But if we take a look at what's going on here, last week, we basically opened where we closed. We've got big wicks on either side. That candle indicates that we could be seeing a reversal pattern, but you could have said the same thing about the week before as well. So I am being cautious with that analysis, but looking at it right now, the momentum is certainly dropping off slightly on the Bitcoin chart. If we take a look at the RSI, let's add that onto the chart here, RSI, here we go. And you can see that we definitely have been seeing some bullish. In fact, let's go onto the 4-hour chart. This may be clearer. And let's remove all of my lines for now. You can see here definitely that we have had some highs getting higher on the Bitcoin chart, and we have had similar lows coinciding, getting lower on the RSI. So that is a slight bearish divergence that we should be wary of on the RSI, but keeping a close eye on that. We do want to be positive still. We've not broken through any major levels of support, and the indicators do kind of coincide with what's going on there. When the price is going down, the RSI will go down. But what you can see here is we are approaching that level of support from this channel that I do want to be keeping a close eye on. I personally am enjoying swing trading at this point in time, but with that bullish momentum kind of weakening right now, I am being cautious. Hopefully we do have a massive move to the upside, and we do see that massive move to the upside. But I am just being cautious that I do think we could be seeing a breakout of this channel within the next couple of weeks. I think we've had some brilliant opportunities in this channel to trade. I'm just hoping it's the resistance breaking, not the support. Let's take a look at what is going on, though, on Twitter quickly, because we are seeing a huge amount of liquidity in short positions for Bitcoin. Taking a look at the chat here, Robert Curry, good afternoon. I see you've changed your logo. That's pretty cool. The Humbled One says Bitcoin will break out soon. Remember, bull run has already started. This is a mindset also. The Humbled One has just reminded me there. Something you need to be very cautious of in a bull market, and a very big transition you need to make when there is the change from the bear market to the bull market, is you need to be aware that we don't get all of the opportunities that we get in a bear market. In a bear market, you kind of kick yourself sometimes when the market goes even further down because you think, oh, it's going to go lower and lower and lower. In a bull market, you do not get dip after dip after dip that you can take opportunity out of. Now, that's not me creating FOMO. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. We don't know if this is the bull market yet. We may see a major move to the downside, but we don't always get those opportunities in a bull market. Everybody always says they're going to buy lower, and we don't know if we are going to get that chance. The truth is, nobody knows what's happening. We all work off probability. Right now, the markets are looking good. They've moved to the upside. I'm being cautious to see if we can get that big wave of bullish momentum to push us through that level of resistance, or if we are going to see that bullish momentum weaken slightly, see a kind of a wider price range for the month of December. Maybe we could be looking at 38,000 to 34,000 for a period of time throughout December until that start of the new year when the hype comes back into the markets again. Now, I would like to point out before we get onto that tweet that I was just about to show you what happened last January the 1st. If you take a look at what happened here in 2022, things were bearish. Things were definitely bearish. We had Luna. I could go on with a list of companies that were bearish and fell in 2022. But midnight struck on the 31st of December, 2022, and that was it. something changed and Bitcoin just started to moon. Now, there are obviously things that caused these kind of pumps here. We saw the banking crisis and we have had other triggers for Bitcoin to move to the upside, but it was genuinely like something changed at midnight on the 31st of December. It was insane. And I'm hoping we see that same bullish momentum come in the start of the new year when people are looking at how they want to change. And they may look to invest a little bit more. They may look to research cryptocurrency a little bit more. We may just see that nice push to start off the year prior to some hopefully positive news about spot Bitcoin ETFs and to that Bitcoin halving that's about to be in about April next year. So hopefully, I am expecting here we may just see some sideways action throughout December. We may get some nice pumps. We might get some pullbacks. But I think overall, I'm not expecting a huge move in December because it's Christmas time. People are away from the charts. Volumes drop off. We've just seen that with Thanksgiving. When the volumes drop off, we may see some bigger price movements because you need less liquidity essentially to move the price. But overall, the prices kind of stay in a range. The pumps are followed by a retracement. The dumps are followed by a retracement. And while this like Christmas period is here, I'm not expecting too much movement. But as I always say, I am preparing my portfolio for every scenario. In this scenario, I like to just be prepared for everything. We are looking at the markets now. I think the bull market has started. Some people disagree with that. I'm trying to put myself in a position where I will be grateful for both. And that is always the strategy. People think that people that are full-time traders and investors know exactly what's going on in the markets, what's coming next. But I honestly think the most important thing to do is just to understand risk and understand how you can position yourself to be profitable in both situations. And that is possible. People think you need to either be a bull or a bear or have a really bullish price prediction for that day or a really bearish price prediction for that day. But you just need to be able to position yourself where you will be profitable from both and you cannot miss out on those opportunities. And that is something that you should really focus on and learn from. We do talk about investment strategies on the courses at cryptosavingexpert.com. You can create an account for free and you can take part in a lot of our courses for free there as well. So make sure to check out cryptosavingexpert.com. Let's take a look at what's going on with this chart anyway, because I wanted to talk about the amount of short positions on Bitcoin right now. So over $150 million of shorts will be liquidated if Bitcoin pumps to $37,900. You can see the liquidation heat map here, and you can see the amount of liquidations that would be possible if Bitcoin does see that move to the upside. And that is $37,900. That is really not too far away. A sentence we preach here on the channel is Bitcoin takes the path of most pain. We've seen that over and over again. We are currently seeing a slight pullback here, but we haven't yet broken this level of support. So I'm keeping an eye on this level of $36,600. I'm also keeping an eye on it to see if we do break to the downside of it. Do I think that's possible? Yes. Do I think that's likely? I think the reason we broke through this level of support momentarily back on Tuesday last week was because it was off the back of some news. It wasn't actual natural price action for Bitcoin. And when the price breaks a level of support or resistance from news, I don't think it's that genuine. I don't think it shows any lack of strength from the level of support and resistance, and I kind of ignore it in a sense. So that is what is happening here. Hopefully we do hold that level of support and we get a nice bounce to the upside. Maybe one of these days we will break through that level at $38,000, but I do believe it is a very strong level of resistance. The Humbled One says short squeeze incoming. Well, Bitcoin takes the path of most pain, and when you look at this chart, it's easy to see what the path of most pain is right now. Let's take a look at the CME chart here as well. I did say we'd be analyzing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream, but we're going full in detail now. So let's see what's going on here. CME gap is at $38,535. The CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's the world's largest derivatives exchange, and they have the Bitcoin chart on, but they turn it off over the weekend because they are operational Monday to Friday. And when that happens, the Bitcoin price just stops on this chart, on the CME chart, and then it starts again on the Monday. But when it does that, it creates a gap in the markets, as you can see clearly here, because Bitcoin doesn't stop over the weekend. And then what happens is that gap acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. Now, that magnet is something that we can use as some optimism right now because it is higher than the current price of Bitcoin. It's sat at $38,530. Typically, not every single time, but probability states that a CME gap does close after it is being created. And to close and fill that gap, we would need to see Bitcoin retrace all the way back up to $38,530. Now, typically it does happen at the start of the following week after the gap is created, but we do have gaps that have never been filled before. For example, we've got one at $20,000 that's not being filled yet. So it is possible that it doesn't get filled, but probability is looking like we could see a bullish afternoon or next couple of days. It may not be filled today, but its probability states that we could be looking at some nice movement here. Fingers crossed. Open Media says shorts got killed already. Shorts have been killed already, but they could be killed again. If we take a look at this chart here, over $150 million of shorts will be liquidated if the price of Bitcoin pumps to $37,900. So just be aware of that. As we've said, Bitcoin takes the path of most pain. If there's a lot of money to be liquidated up there, it may do so. Open Media says happens every Monday, of course, depending on your time zone. It goes down from 0 UTC for the next 12 hours. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see what else is going on in the markets. I think it's time to take a look at the cryptocurrency news and see what else is going on in the markets. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got some major cryptocurrency news stories here today from Crypto Saving Expert. If you have not yet signed up to Crypto Saving Expert, you can make a free account and you can create a cryptocurrency portfolio where you can track all of your cryptocurrencies, the values of them, and you can enter when you are buying or selling cryptocurrencies so that you know the value of your cryptocurrency portfolio. You can stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrency news, access free guides about different exchanges. We've seen a lot of shifts when it comes to exchanges in different regions right now. Some countries are seeing exchanges leave, others are seeing exchanges enter. We've got guides teaching you how to use all of these different exchanges, centralized, decentralized, how to use cryptocurrency bridges, and we've got courses there, and some of those are for our free users as well. So make sure to check them out. Finally, the thing I want to show you before we go into the cryptocurrency news is the merch store. The merch store is offering some Black Friday discounts, Cyber Monday discounts now, I should say. These deals will not last forever. They are finishing very, very soon. I've just had a team meeting and it sounds like they could be finishing by this afternoon. So make sure to get onto those if you are looking to purchase something soon. If you want to give some Bitcoin related merch away as a gift this Christmas, make sure to take advantage of this Black Friday sale. I love this Bitcoin light here. I think we've all got one now. I've been to the CSE merch warehouse and robbed a load of the merch there, and I will do so, but please make sure to check it all out, because I don't think John will be very happy if I keep taking all of the stock and nobody's buying any. Let's take a look at what's going on in cryptocurrency news and see what else is going on. So what's going on here in the chat? It's going crazy in the chat today. So now, and I can't read all of this quickly. The chat has never been this fast. Christine says, just received my merch. Fantastic quality, everyone. Get involved, people. And Robert Curry says, it's a great website. Keep up the amazing work to this Crypto Saving Expert team. So two very lovely compliments there. Thank you very much. When it comes to the merch of the Crypto Saving Expert merch store, honestly, we had so much trial and error going on there. We had so many samples for all of these items, and we just made sure we got them right, because the worst thing we want is for somebody to buy something, not be happy with the quality, and then choose not to use the website again. We want you to buy, realize how good it is, and buy some more. We literally, especially with those t-shirts, we had so many samples. Now, those of you that watch that Martini guy will know he sticks to his black t-shirts. I've never known a man be so picky about the fabric of his black t-shirts. Honestly, he went through sample after sample after sample until he got the exact type that we wanted, and it is now perfect quality, and all of that did pay off. So make sure to check those out if you haven't already. Let's take a look at what's going on in the cryptocurrency news though today, because we are how many minutes in? 20 minutes in, and we've not even spoken about the cryptocurrency news. This is a cryptocurrency news show, so let's get on to the news here. Binance CZ is manageable flight risk according to the US Department of Justice. We all know by now what's happened with Binance. Binance have had to pay a $4.3 billion fine, that's with a B, and CZ has had to step down as CEO. CEO and has pleaded guilty to not following anti-money laundering protocols in Binance. Now he's facing up to 18 months in prison, but he is staying majority shareholders of the exchange. He is able to consult the new CEO of the exchange, and things seem to just be moving on quite smoothly. The handover seems to have been pretty smooth. The new Binance CEO was already a employee of Binance and has a brilliant track record in a couple of other companies as well. So it seems that the industry does seem to have quite a lot of confidence in him taking over as CEO, and we have seen a smooth transition so far. There was worry that Binance's CZ was going to be a flight risk, but the US Department of Justice have now said it's a manageable flight risk. They have had, let's take a look at this. Last week, CZ's legal team contended that his voluntary appearance in court, despite not being a US citizen, speaks volumes about his commitment to the case and negates any flight risk. And we can see here the US attorneys countered his assertion, citing the severity of the sentence as a compelling reason for CZ to flee to the UAE, a nation which lacks an extradition treaty with the US. Prosecutors further argued that CZ has limited ties to the US and may not return if allowed to leave. Now, what we are seeing here is an effect on BNB. Let's take a look at the price of BNB token here. It's crashed massively, obviously. This wasn't kind of the news that BNB holders wanted to see. To be honest, though, it hasn't crashed as, it's been down worse in this bear market. What you can see here is we are trading at $226. In the previous bull market, it did reach heights of $706. I would like to know in the chat, are you going to touch BNB in this bull market? Let me know. I'm pretty interested to see here. Let's take a look at the technical analysis here. On the daily chart, it's a sell according to this. Let's look on the weekly chart, still a sell. On the monthly chart, it's looking like a sell here. All of the indicators are saying sell on every time frame. What we're seeing here is we have had a move to the downside. Is this a buy the dip opportunity? Open Media says he still has BNB. Christian says he's definitely grabbing some BNB. Interesting right now. The prices have moved, not selling, said Open Media. Interesting how the prices that I don't think what's happened with Binance affects BNB as a token. As I said, the transition's been very smooth. CZ has said that he is going to still consult the new CEO and help the progression of Binance and the exchange. Still majority shareholder, still got best interest to push the exchange forwards. Binance have done a huge amount for the industry, and I honestly could not complain about that. And I think BNB is still the good old token that it was. It's still got all of the utility that it had before. It's just that CZ is no longer the CEO of Binance. So I don't think too much has changed, but I think it's an interesting one. We have seen volatility there. I don't know. I'm still not decided on this. Let's take a look at the next article. So we are still talking about CZ. His lawyers battle the ex-CEO to avoid prison. So they are defending CZ and they are looking to avoid jail time before the sentencing. So we can see here that they're saying about it being a flight risk. We've just discussed that. And we are seeing that they are trying to negate that 18-month prison. Now, that's not definitely set in stone. It's just that he could be facing 18 months in prison, but we'll keep an eye on that. Let's move on to the next story here. So the CFTC signals more aggressive action to come. So the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is set to move onto its next case following the Department of Justice's settlement with Binance. So Binance have just paid their $4.3 billion fine. The CFTC is saying, come on, what's next in the cryptocurrency space? We're going to take it on. I think they've got very confident after their success with Binance there. But we can see here the CFTC commissioner has stated there are no private ships in US markets as the regulator coils up to take its next case against crypto exchanges or platforms. Access to US customers is a privilege, not a right. In line with its statement that action against further parties is to come, Romero stated that VPNs, pop-up questions, and other ways platforms attempt to blend the rules in stating they do not serve US customers will not be tolerated. It should be crystal clear that the CFTC will not stop in its pursuit of non-US entities. Now, I think this is in reference to maybe some exchanges that have a pop-up that say, are you from the US? And if you tick no, even if you're in the US, you can access them. Or if you use a VPN, you can access them still. I think the CFTC are referring to those exchanges, trying to crack down on that, saying, look, if we're telling you you can't offer your services to US customers, you need to make sure that our US customers can't get access to it, whether that's through a VPN, whether that's through ticking a box saying they're not in the US, any of these strategies. I think the exchanges know at that point they are still offering US customers access, and I think the CFTC aren't that stupid either. So I think there are some changes that could be made there. These regulators are being put in place to protect investors. Whether they are being too tight on this regulation and really stifling growth of the industry is another question. But we are seeing changes there. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. Do Kwon's extradition approved by Montenegrin court. So Do Kwon could be extradited to the US or South Korea following his stint in a Montenegrin prison. So this guy has basically been charged in multiple different jurisdictions. He's done his stint in a Montenegrin prison. He's going to be moved over to the US or South Korea, and then he's going to have to serve his penalties in those regions as well. So a bit of a crazy story there, but let's move on to the next one because we've spoke about Do Kwon a lot. I don't know if there's much interest in the markets anymore for that. If there is, I will drop the link to this in the chat, and you are more than welcome to go and check that out there. Let's see what's going on in the next article here, though. Australian bank introduces retail cryptocurrency trading services. So an Australian bank has announced it will introduce cryptocurrency trading services for retail customers. Now, this is an interesting one. I remember Australia's affiliation, Binance's Australian branch really had difficulty when it came to the FUD around Binance earlier in the bear market, and they had to stop all AUD pairs with tokens on Binance and had to stop AUD withdrawals on Binance, I believe. I think I'm getting this correct. This is all from memory. So this is interesting to see the banks want to work with them. I remember quite clearly the banks in Australia didn't really want to cooperate with cryptocurrency at a certain point in time, but now a bank is looking to introduce retail cryptocurrency trading services. So that's definitely a positive. Let's take a look at the next one here. Cramer has admitted defeat. Jim Cramer admitted he was wrong to call for investors to sell their Bitcoin. Now, it's very famous here that we all know now. A lot of people love to counter trade this guy when it comes to Bitcoin, because when he says to buy, typically it's the top, and when he sends to sell, typically it is the bottom. We've seen it over and over again. Counter traders, I do believe, are more profitable than Jim when it comes to trading Bitcoin. We can see here he said, he was in a conversation on the show where watchers can call in and ask him questions on specific stocks, cryptos, or investments. The subject of Bitcoin arose, and a caller named Rick asked Cramer about CleanSpark, a Bitcoin miner, and his thoughts on the company. And Jim said, look, if you like Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. That has always been my view. And for a while, I liked it, and I decided that money had been made, but I was premature. Following the collapse of FTX, Cramer warned crypto investors of the risks associated with the digital assets and warned investors to get out of the industry in December 2022. Now, if you look back at the markets there, December 2022, Bitcoin was at $16,000. December 2022, we're looking at Bitcoin down at $16,600. So you can see clearly there when he said you can't beat yourself up and say, hey, it's too late to sell. The truth is, it's never too late to sell an awful position. And that's what you have if you own these so-called digital assets. That was last December when Bitcoin was at $16,000. Since then, it's up $120,000. He has persisted with his view on Bitcoin throughout 2023. He warned investors to sell their Bitcoin in March before repeating the message in June. But we have been rallying. That prediction was incorrect. And I feel very, very sorry for people that followed this advice in December and sold their Bitcoin down at $16,000. But let's take a look at the next article here and see what's going on. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Bitcoin Lightning payment provider Wallet of Satoshi leaves US-based app stores. So we are seeing changes when it comes to regulation there. This is a Bitcoin Lightning payment app. It's chosen to leave US-based app stores, Apple and Google app stores there. So it might cause some shifts and changes. The reason for leaving, it is clarified, had voluntarily removed its app from the US and Google app stores. The company stated that it would no longer cater for US customers, but was ensuring that existing US customers would retain full access of their Bitcoin funds and have the ability to transfer tokens to other wallets. So we've seen here some shifts and some changes. But let's take a look at what else is going on here. ARK Invest has sold $5 million worth of GBTC as discount to NAV reduces to 8%. So Kathy Wood's ARK Invest sold more GBTC, Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust token stock, last month, bringing November's sales to $16.9 million. Last week, Kathy Wood's ARK Invest sold some of its holding in Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. ARK Invest sold 163,000 shares, generating $5 million at closing prices. This sale coincides with GBTC's discount to net asset value, dropping to its lowest margin in over 2 years. So what this is discussing is Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, is a Bitcoin trust. It's basically just a stock that holds Bitcoin. And the difference between the value of the stock, the valuation of the company, I guess, the stock, and the actual value of the Bitcoin that the stock holds was very, very different. It went to like 43% at one point. It's now at the lowest difference between the value of the stock and the value of the Bitcoin it holds in the last 2 years. So we're looking at a 8% difference in those valuations there, 8.06, and this is the lowest since July 2021. So ARK Invest tends to accumulate crypto-related shares during downturns and sells them when they appear more promising to secure profits. So they've been looking at buying these GBTC stock during the bear market, during those when that discrepancy was higher, but now it's closed in and we're only 8% from the actual value of its underlying Bitcoin. They're looking to take profits on that, and I think that's a strong move. That's a strong move there. And let's take a look at what else is going on here. Unlocking innovation in the UK, funds authorized for tokenization journey with groundbreaking blueprint. So in the UK, a huge amount of regulation was brought in for cryptocurrency and digital assets back in October this year, but we are seeing them try and kind of reconcile, like put bandages over the problems they've created with the cryptocurrency space, trying to bring digital assets back in. Now they have this new regulation. Now it's set out to roll out tokenization development as the country seeks to keep up with innovation. So looking to adopt blockchain technology, something I can get on board with, something I agree with. But I am disappointed with the UK's decisions when it comes to digital assets this year, and things like this aren't really mending that relationship I've got there. But what we can see here is tokenization is important. Now we're seeing real world asset conversations a lot on cryptocurrency Twitter, in the cryptocurrency space. Assets that can be tokenized and brought onto the blockchain are a hot topic right now. So it's interesting to see they're actually getting on top of this. Well, it's a hot topic. Let's take a look at the next one here. Bitcoin could break $40,000 in October. So let's talk about that quickly. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at how many likes we've got on today's stream. Let me pull this up quickly. We are looking at, why can't I pull this up? We are looking at 14 likes on today's stream, but we've got 29 viewers. We can do much better than that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday, and we need your help to get pushed onto more people's pages by liking, subscribing, hit that bell notification button, comment in the live chat, get involved in the conversation, comment down below today's video. As much as you can interact, the better. Share the video with your friends. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Can it break through $40,000 in December? Well, as I said earlier today, we have a huge amount of liquidation potential in that $37,900 range. We're looking at a huge amount of short positions being opened right now. Maybe that is because the momentum is looking like it could be weakening on the Bitcoin charts. But as I said, Bitcoin takes the path of most pain. Now, let's take a look at this article. This is an opinion piece. Let's see why they are suggesting we could see Bitcoin at $40,000. So Bitcoin has remained remarkably stable after the news of Binance and CZ settling with the Department of Justice. Now, Bitcoin remained resilient after the Binance news. It did have a little bit of volatility, but not too much. Now we're seeing $40,000 as the next major level of resistance. If we pull up the weekly chart here, And let's reset this time frame. Let's reset this time frame again, and we zoom in here. You can see, if I remove all of these lines, that $40,000 is a major level for Bitcoin, and it was in the previous market, bull market. If we take a horizontal line and put it there, you can see. In fact, let's delete all of these lines and start again. We can start right from scratch here. $40,000 was used as a level of resistance twice, a level of support here, a level of support here. This is a crucial level that we want to be looking at. Now, we are already at a crucial level as well. I think this level is very, very important. And I think this whole zone, to be honest, is very, very important. I'm looking particularly at between that $37,500 level and that $39,000 level as a major zone of resistance. Let's draw that rectangle back on again, and we can just walk through why I've had all of these important zones on my chart. So this is a zone that I'm watching out for now. You can see we've used it as resistance, resistance, support, support, and we are now currently seeing it be used as resistance once again. Hopefully we do break through it, but that's what we're looking at on the weekly chart. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see we are currently on the daily chart being defeated by the resistance, but who knows how much longer we can be suppressed down at these price levels. You can see we have a major level of support that runs right across here. We've seen this hold time and time again. If we pull this all the way out to the end there, you can see that's currently at $36,450. We also have a level of resistance here that's running across. We could run them across here. I actually think it's better to go from here to here to here. And you can see we're using the wicks from these candles, but we're using the body from these candles. And if we pull this right across, you can see we have that level of resistance at $38,600. So I'm keeping an eye on that as well. But we do have some levels in between that we can be looking at. Clearly, we've got a level here that we're currently testing at $36,950. This has been used quite a number of times here, actually. You can see it's been used as a level of support here and here as well. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I don't think it's particularly strong. I think this level is a potential as well. But anything is possible here. We could be holding on here. As I said, momentum is looking like it could be slightly weakening for Bitcoin since we've been trying to break through this level of resistance for such a long period of time. But it is still possible that we could see one last push here. And if we break through that major resistance level, we could see a nice move to the upside there. So I'm definitely staying up to date with what's going on there with the price of Bitcoin in terms of biggest gainers and losers for the last 24 hours. Luna Terra Classic is up 43.3% within the last 24 hours. Absolutely crazy. I will be staying tuned on that and reporting on that through the week. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. That's all we have for today. So thank you very much for watching. And we will be back here tomorrow with another cryptocurrency news update. Goodbye.